On this episode of Grego Fabulous,
I find something totally radical.
whoa! Okay, there's not a cop behind me. Hey, so I'm doing this thing. I am running out the door. Crazy whirlwind, ATM, gas, now going to an ice cream shop. Not because of the milkshake bringing all the boys to the yard, but vintage toys. And how this all played out, saw a Facebook Marketplace ad, guy had a bunch of carded figures, won't spoil it just yet, asking like individual prices. I was like, hey, just curious, what do you want for all of it? And he threw out a number that somebody else had offered him, which is already a steal of a deal. I tried to beat it by like $10. You know, I was like, hey, again, as long as you didn't make an agreement with this guy, you know, it was $250 enough. I literally live like a couple towns away from you. It's Veterans Day, so you know I ain't working. He wanted to go a little higher than that. I countered, and then he was like, hey, one of them that I just sold, or listed on eBay, just sold, but if you want to go to my original asking price, I'll risk the negative feedback and sell it all to you. I was like, sure. So hopefully this all works out. I'm going to try to get footage for you, but you know, again, we're meeting in a parking lot. I don't want to be like cell phone blazing and make it like super obvious or awkward. Because even though we're meeting at a ice cream shop, dirty things happen. So I'm doing this. Whee! So you just dug these up, huh?
Well, so my uncle was a huge collector.
Yeah.
Of like sports cards and like stuff like this. So I was in my basement, like they were there, and I googled them on eBay, and they were like worth 20. So.
That's so cool.
Do you collect action figures?
I do, yeah. A lot of I grew up. I was an '80s kid, so well, mid '80s, so like early '90s too. So like yeah, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and then older stuff like Transformers, Voltron, Thundercats, like all that stuff, pretty much. So me and my buddy, we started like recollecting a couple years ago. Like we go to like flea markets and buy like random things, and then we got to the point where like instead of buying like one thing at a time, why don't we just try to buy like collections and like keep what we need. And so we kind of have the hobby like reinvest in itself, so we're not just like losing money.
It's much better.
It's so much better. So whenever we can, and I know some people are like, you know, they think it's a little dirty. They're like, oh, you're a reseller, but it's like we really use it to try to just fund our own collections. No, that's crazy that he has so many of the same one. So just 1, 2, 3. There's a hockey 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh. I mean, it looks pretty good. Hold on, sorry. I mean, not to sound greedy, but did he keep anything else, or?
Like a million sports cards. These were really the only action figures though.
Oh, okay. So he kind of stuck to the sports theme when it came to like the action figures.
Anything sports I have in my basement.
Yeah. That's cool. No, yeah, that looks awesome. He just gobbled. He basically like cleaned out Bradley's in Child World. Yeah, they don't even. That's my
know what they were.
That's my favorite part. Like none of these stores like even exist anymore. So like just looking at the price tags. No, that looks awesome. Thank you. I'm trying to get the original Turtles, so I'm hoping that this can kind of help fund that. Yeah. All right. So I have kind of money in all different places. So 20, 40, 60, 80. That's 100 right there. Like I have plenty of money in PayPal, but I was like, I have to go to the ATM for this. Right, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. And then it gets broken up a little bit here. 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75, 80. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to give you like 21s.
That's fine.
So if you want to just recount that, that should be another 100 there. Alright, so this might be a classic case of counting my turtles before they hatch. Yes, it's true. Chickens and turtles both come from eggs. The only difference is how long you sit on them. Science! So we had a lot of elements in play here, which led to this kind of sense of urgency. I mean, we had other people that wanted these things. We had it in my neighborhood. We had eBay involved. All these things were kind of ganging up against me. And it was like, I can't sit here and try to Greco my way into this deal. I gotta put my money where my mouth is and seal it. And so I did. I mean, but still, on the surface, 14 carded turtles, especially the sports ones, because we know some of those Slam Dunk and Dons are in demand, for $300. It's like 22 bucks a figure. So like, it's not bad. But then when I started to peel back the layers and take a closer look at these guys, I started to find some kinks in the armor. None of these turtles were gonna win a beauty pageant. They had their issues. They had some creasing. They had a lot of bubble crunchiness, and some of them actually had cracks in the bubbles themselves. So even though they were sealed, and some of them, most of them were unpunched, they had their blemishes. So I could not achieve maximum resale velocity. But one thing I was able to finagle, and I'm pretty proud of myself, because I really thought there would be no way in HE double hockey sticks that anybody would go for this. But I found the one person. I was able to trade one of each of the figures for a carded 10-back Leonardo. Bask in my greatness! Now, since I'm so slow about making videos, I already know the future. I can tell you how this all played out. I didn't really care about keeping any of these. So what had happened was I basically spent $300 to get a carded 10-back Leonardo figure and $60 profit. Was it the greatest heist in vintage toy history? Probably not. I mean, if you really broke it down to dollars and cents, spending $300 to make like $160, $150, not the best return on investment. ROI, I went to economics business school, man. I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. I don't know what I'm saying, I'm just quoting Jay-Z. But anyways, not the best from an economic standpoint, but it got me a carded 10-back figures. I was able to save face. Now, if you ask my business partner Tim how he feels about the deal, he's probably gonna be like, yeah, that was a wonderful deal. You got a carded 10-back turtle, and I got 30 bucks. Glad that I hitched myself to the Titanic. That's the #1 rule in business. You gotta get yours, you know what I mean? I got the YouTube channel. Everything else is just noise! Alright, so this video can't just be all turtles all the time. So let's go ask my parents for a ride because I got my license suspended and go on another quick pick. Hey, skillets! It's only me! It's always only been me. Forever alone. So, I'm driving. I actually took a half day today to do this trip. Totally not worth it. Totally not worth the effort for the distance I have to drive, what I'm getting, what I'm paying. But I don't know. It's something I want. Hopefully it's as good as it looks and there's not any kind of red herrings to discover. I don't even know if I'm using that phrase right. I'm not a 50s detective. I don't know. I just need to get out of the house. The secret word is sealed, bitches! Ah! Yes, I drove 65 miles in one direction to pick up a sealed Pee-wee's Playhouse playset. So here's how it all broke down. The buyer originally listed this thing for $175 or best offer. And I came to him and I said, listen, I know this is a brand new listing. I really mean no offense. I'm not trying to lowball you. I just know that, at least in my experience, I'm the only buddy that cares about Pee-wee in this area. So I'll give you 80. Plus I'm driving a heck of a long way to get this thing. So we got a deal or what? And he came back to me and was like, I'll do 100. And I was thinking, and I just couldn't do it. And I told him straight up, I was like, I appreciate you working with me, but it's just a lot of effort and money for something that I really feel is just gonna sit there waiting for me if I'm patient enough. So he said he would think about it. I stepped away from the table, and the next day he said he would do it for 80 bucks. And on top of that, he was like, hey, I also have this 50s tin atomic submarine. Do you have any interest in that whatsoever? And I don't collect tin toys. I'm not from the 50s. I look damn good for my age, but I wasn't born in the 50s. And I look damn good for any age, really. And I am immortal. It's all that baby foreskin I'm rubbing on my face. Pro celebrity tip. So I don't collect tin toys. I think they're cool. This one was especially cool because it's like wartime era, atomic submarine. So there's probably it probably came with like plutonium when it first came out. And it has mechanical features. I mean, you throw 2 giant D-sized dinosaur-egg batteries in there, and this thing will supposedly light up, move, and fire missiles. Unfortunately, the only thing this thing did at this point was light up. It didn't have any of the other functionality. And I told him, it's cool. I don't collect it, but if you don't want to waste time finding another buyer, I'll take it for another 40 bucks. And from what I can see online, there definitely seems to be some profit potential built into this thing. No matter what, I mean, it was a cool find. And if I'm feeling dangerous enough, I might try to tinker with it, see if I can bring this thing back to life. You know, a lot of times it's just a matter of, you know, kind of revving up the motor again, get things a little loose after being a little frigid after a while. You know, it's just like with people, man. You gotta warm it up, baby. You can't just go from 0 to 60. So I don't know what I'm talking about. I get nervous and I say things and I make myself all cool sounding, but I'm really a loser. The truth will set you free. Now, as much as I love Pee-wee, you know I'm not just about to drop $80 and go for a loss here. I always have an ace up my sleeve. And that ace is, I already have a complete in-box Playhouse playset. Except this one has been opened. So what I'm gonna do is, and you know the hustle, baby. I'm gonna go ahead, sell that guy, and try to get this guy for free or make money. And the only way that's gonna happen is I gotta go straight to eBay, because like I said, nobody cares about Pee-wee, which is why I have 2 of these things in the box in my area. There's no way it's gonna sell. The only problem is these are big boys, gonna cost some decent coin to ship. That's the beauty of the internet. There's plenty of people out there willing to make a big mistake. Bank error in your favor. And last but not least, I want to end this video on a very high note. It's not very often that I buy things just for me, just for the nostalgia. I mean, that is the end game in all this, despite all the money going in and out and the reselling and all that stuff. It really is to add to my collection, which never seems to change in my background. And that's only because I don't have the space. I swear, this is not a studio that I rent out. This is not a green screen. This is not somebody else's room. I am not a phony. Until you find out the truth. But for now, let's keep playing along. So I do buy things for myself. This was an instance where I randomly saw this thing. It is not a toy, but it's related to toys. It's one of those cool merchandising things. I don't have footage to go with it, so I'm just gonna show it to you. I'm gonna dress you up in my love, all over your body, from your head down to your toes. Yes, I picked up an original vintage G1 Transformers children's blanket, comforter, I don't know what you would call it. It looks itchy as hell, but it's freaking awesome. I actually never had a children's bed set and bed sheets as a kid. Wait, no, that's not true. I think I missed a word there. I had bed and bed sheets, but not Transformers ones. I remember having Ninja Turtles bed sheets, but not these guys. And this thing is freaking awesome. It is covered in just old G1 inspired artwork. It has like the Series 1 cast of characters from Optimus to Megatron to Starscream, Soundwave, Sunstreaker. And the bed bugs it came with was just an added bonus. Bed bugs! And who knows, this might end up being the gateway to something bigger. Because obviously if this kid had G1 inspired bedding, it's only logical to think he had G1 inspired toys. And of course she gave me that very non-committal, oh, I have your Facebook info, I'll get back to you. So we'll see if that comes to anything. That would be a great follow-up to this video. But for now, I got a carded 10-back Leonardo, I got a sealed Pee-wee's Playhouse playset, and a blanket. And that's why I am undoubtedly, indisputably, the greatest toy hunter of our generation. This ain't a democracy, okay? This is my ship. I'm the captain now. Bye!